I can't pick like Shaq.
No, Shaq went
serious?
platinum, and he actually wasn't the worst.
He's definitely not.
He
'Cause
wasn't-
He's probably the best NBA rapper.
Rapper of all time, yeah,
Definitely the most successful NBA rapper.
100%. Shaq,
I love Kazam.
I think only 2 or 3 rappers ever in the history of New Jersey have won platinum, and Shaq is one of them. That's not even a random, like that is a random fact, but that's an actual fact.
Shaq had a Biggie feature.
He did have a Biggie feature. Most people can't say that.
I'm quickly shut down.
Because Shaq is like
legit
not to like make this the day we give Shaq his roses, but Shaq is a real life fucking legend.
For sure.
He had Shaq Fu as well, which was something I played. I feel like you were a
Amazing
big
game.
Shaq
I
Fu.
definitely
fan.
had Shaq Fu
I could
on
Would
Sega.
you be my dog? I know you a Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
fan.
What is it? Shaq food?
Shaq
Oh,
Fu.
you didn't have Shaq Fu? You didn't play Shaq Fu?
Fu?
Yeah, he had, you know Shaq always thought he
Shaq
was
in the
into karate or kung fu. So he did Shaq Fu was a Sega Genesis game that was so fucking ill.
It's a classic. It's crazy.
Shaq has a karate video game?
Oh, bro, you don't know Shaq.
Wow. I guess it just speaks to like how versatile Shaq is.
Shaq had that. Then he came out with Kazam.
Steel.
I definitely know that.
Steel was hard.
I feel like that's a Marvel character. Steel.
It might. I think it actually is a Marvel character, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's crazy.
I don't know Steel.
That was when he basically was RoboCop.
Yeah.
He was a 7-foot RoboCop.
With John Henry RoboCop.
John Henry.
Has he? I feel like Shaq has done everything.
Shaq is a DJ. He DJs EDM party. He does not do hip hop. Shaq big ass being a wife beater every time.
Yeah, just hovering over the board, just way towering over the board.
He's been making dance videos recently.
Yeah, he on TikTok.
The sheriff.
He's a shit. He's a fucking sheriff. Tell me how my ass tastes. Yes, that's when he had got what's it called?
Did he get a ring? Is that when they won?
No, that's when him and Kobe had their little fake beef. Not fake beef, but they little beef.
Yeah.
And Shaq had just became a police officer maybe the day before.
Yeah.
And then honorary. Let's make sure Shaq did go through the course. It was only 7 weeks though.
Yeah.
It's not hard to.
But I feel like they have him as a sheriff in like multiple states.
Yeah, but it's not like in the honorary doctrine.
Yeah.
I feel like Shaq is like a Barbie doll. He's just like, and now it's DJ Shaq, and now it's Cop Shaq, and now it's Fireman Shaq, you know?
No,
basketball Shaq. It's announcer Shaq.
He had hella personality. I think that's what it was, is that in a time like that, the NBA, Michael Jordan was a star, but I don't know if the personality is what you lean in for Mike. Shaq was like a superstar whose personality was larger than life as well.
Yeah.
And he always had the biggest smile, and he was a 7-foot kid when he got there. So people were like, I like this kid. This kid is lovable. He's charming. So he just was smart enough to start fucking marketing himself as a brand instead of just being like, I'm a basketball player.
And his name is Shaquille, which is a cool name.
It is. Means, I think, Sun Warrior.
Wow.
That's fire.
Some people
I made that up. Literally.
I was like,
give me shit. You want to get into the show?
Yeah, welcome to Wine and Weed.
Yay.
what's good?
As you guys may notice,
Do it.
there's a third voice. It's normally a fourth voice. John's not here today, but we have a third voice. So that means we have a guest.
Yeah.
A guest, and not just a guest. I don't even know how to describe this man. He's a friend. But beyond that, he is multifaceted. He's just extremely talented across the board. He's an artist. I say that in the most vague sense, but he's a photographer. He's a painter. He is a creative. I'll say that much. He's a creative. He is BlueTheGreat.
Yay.
Hello.
Blue, thank you for coming on the show.
No, I appreciate it. That was
appreciate
an
it.
excellent intro right there.
You know, is it?
I just would have took Art Dude.
Art dude. But that's kind of your brand is way more like you're just a humble ass nigga too.
No, for sure. Just
I fuck with it.
I'm just lucky to be doing what I love for a living, and it's amazing. So
You're generally a visual medium person.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
You do photography, painting, sculptures, that type of stuff. But I didn't know if there was even more to it. Like, and I do music,
He's
and I
a
do-
DJ.
Yeah.
I guess,
I
you're
could
right.
keep
right,
going.
you
all
do.
the other stuff is like just other interests I have. But first I'm a painter, an artist. I'll say that, someone who likes making things with his hands that are visual, and everything else is just fun. And I'm lucky that I've been able to be halfway successful in those things as well. with photography and DJing and sculpture and whatever else.
I got a piece from Blue recently. I was really excited.
I saw it upstairs.
Beautiful, right?
That's awesome.
Fucking love it.
Classic,
It's
a very
classic. Yeah.
old piece I did in 2014, and first big piece I did on canvas. A piece that's about the riots in '92, one of my favorite photos of all time. Yep. And it's sick that it comes back now, where it's like I made the painting in 2014 and it's forever relevant. So
yeah. And that's
I thought it was inspired by current events. I didn't know that.
Oh no, it's OD.
Oh no, he posted it a while back, and I saw it, and I was like, "Yo, dude, that piece is ill." And then I think he posted it again, and I was like, "Yo, that piece is so ill." I think every time I was like, "That piece is dope, bro." And then last I was just like, "Fuck it, I just gotta get that piece. Why would I not buy this piece? Invest in my friend, and also he's a fucking dope artist."
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you for letting me.
No, I appreciate it. I look at my paintings like investments as well, where it's like, I don't want a bunch of like whack dudes to have pieces from me. It's like, it's on both sides.
I appreciate you for not calling me whack.
No.
I did notice something, a random comment before we introduce, I guess, ourselves. But I did notice you say something about washing, like, why don't people wash their own dishes at somebody's house? I know it's a random, I didn't take us to talk about this or anything, but he was like, man, who raised y'all? Like, why do people look at you so crazy when you wash out a dish at somebody else's house? And I was like, yo, I think Blue is probably one of my only friends that does wash out the dishes at my crib. Like, I remember waking up one time, I had a couple of beer, and I was like, wait, who cleaned the kitchen?
Yeah.
And Lana was like, I don't know. And I was like, wait, I think I recall Blue doing it. I was like, I think Blue did it.
Man, literally, it's just, I don't know. I'm new to having like, a nice situation, and all my friends come to my house all the time, and
you start realizing that's your friend.
I just, and just me, I hate washing dishes. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I don't know, the moment you ask people to wash dishes at your crib, they look at you like you just insulted their whole like life. It's like, yo,
that's
dog,
funny.
like,
Yeah, it is hard to ask somebody to do the dishes, but it always feels good when somebody does do the dishes.
but not even like do all of them,
like,
just yours.
You did.
Oh, so you okay. So you asked the person to wash out their dish.
I make a general announcement when I when I'm noticing that, okay, this is looking,
There's one person in the room with us. I make a general announcement.
No, I just be like, hey, before y'all leave,
you guys see the house rules on the
I just me here, Blue. You can just say it to my face.
Just write it. I just like point to the sign like, hey. But no, I just make a general like, yo, just kind of wash your cup out and throw it in the dishwasher. Rinse it, throw it in the dishwasher.
It's fair. If somebody tells you that, you can at least make a decision on if you want to go back to their house.
Yeah.
You can at least be like, you know what? I fuck with Blue, but do I feel like washing dishes tonight? Do I eat before I get there?
Do I bring my own plastic cup or whatever?
Anything.
But
I guess we'll get to who we are.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show. I'm Chris Raniker, a.k.a. The Connoisseur, a.k.a. Speed Bump, a.k.a. The Goop in Your Gap, a.k.a. La
La la la.
La La La, a.k.a. Your New Baby Daddy, a.k.a. The Corona Cowboy.
Hey.
And with me is, of course,
me,
the one and only
Sterling Steelo Brim, a.k.a. That Dude, a.k.a. S to the B to your vest to the breed, a.k.a. is that third leg, no, it's just me, a.k.a. Concerned Father, a.k.a. Black Mama, a.k.a. R.I.P. Black Mamba, a.k.a. Steezenton, a.k.a. a stylist, a.k.a. What was the last one? Fuck. I almost had all of them.
Somethingsinton.
It is. You're right. It's Steezenton, and then it's Fittington. My girl gave me that name, so I gotta remember it. Fittington.
And our facts guy, John Ross, after 1 week with us, unfortunately,
he got corona from us.
No, he has not gotten corona. But he is on a shoot, and he flew back from Chicago, and we didn't think it was safe.
Because he flew Delta.
So he's getting a test so he can jump back in this seat next week.
You got AKAs?
But he will
AKs.
be filmed he's going to be pre-taped. So John, what's up, John?
Hello everyone, I am John Ross, aka the Gorilla in Manila, aka Big Facts, aka the Nose That Knows, aka the Keto King, aka Terry Khalifa, and aka Big Sexy with the glasses.
And with us this week, as we said, wonderful artist, all around art dude, Blue the Great.
AKA.
AKA Brian Blue, AKA Blue the Great, AKA Blue, AKA Blue Wop, AKA Ryan Red, AKA shit, what else I got?
Ryan Red.
Yeah,
I
I used to use Ryan Red when I was a child as my little alias superhero name.
Is it coming back ever?
No, but I'm thinking about using it now just as something. It could be my DJ name or something.
But
Like,
your last name is
it's Blue.
by birth Blue.
Yeah. My
That's pretty
real
much-
name
Such
is
a
Brian
dope
Blue.
It's like a Shaq name.
Man,
You know?
I used to hate my name when I was a kid. Well, just the Brian part. I used to get like, I don't know. I used to think Blue was so cool, and then it's like Brian. I was like, but the combo together, especially being a painter, it's like people think it's like fake all the time. So.
Yeah, look, I wear hats and people think my last name is fake. Brim. People be like, I get gang banged on once a week. My DMs. Hey, blood. Hey, what's good, Brim? And you be like, fam, no, that's my real last name. I'm not. Yeah, so I get that.
Yeah, I get the jokes every time I tell people my last name. Like, oh, you're not wearing red today. Oh. I've heard that before, bro. But yeah.
And we are drinking. Yeah, what are we drinking this week, and what are we smoking?
Oh yeah, look at this fancy bottle. We're drinking Bella Gloss Pinot Noir, and it has this big wax.
Yeah, like the last glass we had, or last wine we drank last week was like, what was it called again? It sounded like a slave master's name.
Oh yeah.
This one looks like a slave master made. They was in everything with wax back in the day. Like,
Can I
yeah,
crack the
do your
wax?
thing, bro.
Whoa.
You can keep that too.
This is a pretty classy episode because what are we smoking?
This
Those
don't
look pretty.
classy.
Those
These-
look classy too.
Some dank woods.
Some things look.
Clementine sativa. So these things going.
They look like big cigars.
I see
and
that
this
top, that wax top.
wax top.
Oh, trash.
That thing look crazy.
That's kind of cool.
And then on this show, we like to go over the news of the week to kind of get your perspective on the world. So it's not as much of like a lot of shows will be like an interview and go deep into your past. We may find ourselves in that place, but mainly we'll talk about the world to kind of get an idea of how you think.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
The Simpsons to recast characters of color. Family Guy actor stops voicing black role. In a big shift, the producers of The Simpsons say they'll no longer use white actors to play characters on color on the long-running animated series. Additionally, one of the principal voice actors on Family Guy says he'll stop playing the show's main black character. Moving forward, The Simpsons will no longer have white actors voice non-white characters, the show said in a statement Friday. Mike Henry, who had been with Family Guy since its beginnings, wrote on Twitter Friday saying that he'll stop voicing Cleveland Brown on the show. It's been an honor to play Cleveland on Family Guy for 20 years, Henry wrote. I love this character, but persons of color should play characters of color. Therefore, I will be stepping down from the role. Fox and Family Guy producer 20th Century Fox TV declined comment. The Hollywood Reporter has reached out to reps for creator Seth MacFarlane. MacFarlane retweeted Henry's statement on Friday. The decisions by The Simpsons and Henry follow the recent moves by Netflix's Big Mouth and Apple's Central Park to recast mixed-race characters with black and biracial actors. As the industry continues to reckon with this history of inclusivity or lack thereof, Jenny Slate has played Missy on Big Mouth to date, and Kristen Bell voiced Molly on Central Park. The move by The Simpsons represents a major shift for the show, which for years resisted calls that a South Asian actor take over the role of Apu from Hank Azaria. The character is the subject of The Phantom with Apu, a 2017 documentary by comedian Harl Kondabolu. Azaria has since stopped voicing Apu.
How you first of all, if you were one of those white voiceover actors, what was the day you found out you could sound black? When were you like, you know what? I should apply this thing I've been practicing in the mirror to the big screen. Like, I don't know how you found out that you can sound black.
Well,
I'm not saying all of the characters sound black.
Well, I feel like back in the day, like a lot of like learning comedy was like, what accents and voices can you learn? So when you go accent, you're kind of naturally going to go, okay, and then can I learn a French accent, a Spanish accent, an Indian accent, and a Chinese accent, and then these people just become...
These people.
Then voiceover artists. just like them become the go-tos. And then I get it. They're not opening up to a new community of people because they're excited with the fact that they can voice 7 characters on their show.
And they're probably good at their jobs for, you know what I'm saying, for a reason. But I had an interesting conversation about this today, actually. And I was talking to my boys, and they were like, yo, do you think the people replacing these people can come in and use or sound exactly like them, or do they have to change up their voices? Like, do you own the IP or whatever to your own voice? Like, can someone else not come in and duplicate that, or does the actual cartoon itself own the voice? Are they like, oh, once you use that voice here, we own the right to that voice? Or is it like, oh, no? Because I remember back in the day as a kid, I remember one day I was like, whatever. I remember I was watching Arthur. Again, we're going to bring back to Arthur every time. Watching Arthur, and I remember DW's voice changed. Yeah. And I was a kid, but I still noticed. I was like, what the fuck? DW's voice has changed. But it made me think now, well, they have it. People who can impersonate you, so why not just find someone that can impersonate a Cleveland or impersonate somebody, or does that person own the right to that?
I don't think that person owns the right, but I wonder if you're an Indian actor coming in to play Apu, if the character that was started as a caricature of your race, is it a character you're going to want to continue imitate? I don't know.
Yeah, Apu is a good example, but like when there's a Cleveland, like Cleveland's voice doesn't.
We got to see Cleveland. It's got to be the same voice, right?
I think you could change.
I think you change the voice.
I think you change
really?
the voice.
I think you change all.
I think if you change Aunt Viv to a whole different person in Fresh Prince, and there of course is going to be some backlash. I think why not? We'll get used to it.
Cleveland will just sound like a whole new guy now.
What's up, Black?
I mean, you think about like Bart Simpson, like, you know, if they changed his voice. I mean, it's a woman actor who does Bart's voice too, but like if they change it to a different voice, I think it does make a difference. But I don't know, maybe just.
But then, I mean, I agree with this decision somewhat. I mean, I think it's the right call.
Yeah.
Cool. But at the same time, like, I know people's question will become, is this a slippery slope, so to speak? Like, will men ultimately in 5 years start fighting a stupid fight and being like, well, we don't want women doing Bart Simpson's voice?
E.G. Daily.
That's our voice.
The Boondocks, Regina King.
Regina King. She's got to go. Like, when will that, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's the next. I feel like cancel culture in general is so big. You just feel like, what's the next thing?
Yeah. Why can't an aardvark voice the aardvark? Yeah. No, I don't know. I do think the voiceover community is really small, and that kind of systematic problem with like, oh, we just go with the people we know, and the people we know happen to be white. Like, this does give an opportunity to crack open the community, which I think is.
I mean, good. I did a Nickelodeon show. If y'all didn't know that, if y'all want me to really get into it, you know what I'm saying? I was a part of the voiceover community.
Oh yeah, you were.
You know,
you're an artist. You're a voiceover.
Yeah, I played a dog on a Nickelodeon show. Rob had a show called Wild Grinders.
Yeah.
That was a Nicktoon show, and he was like, "Yo, let's do this show together. I want you to play Meaty," and I didn't think about it. I didn't think of it. I was like, "Cool," and then I did it. The first season or first and second season, I was like, this is cool. And I backed out. Actually, I've been replaced already as a voiceover actor. Now that I think about it, then a dude came in and replaced me, and he did the voice for season 3. And it was another black guy. Yeah. They brought in a black guy. He was just like 70. And I was like 25 at the time, 24.
Shit, man. I'm kind of in the middle where it's like, I think it is good that we're like making like strides in like these in like diversifying fields and shit, but also it's like sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes,
yes,
I will say that, because like I get it, if you want, like in Big Mouth, you want to cast somebody who's black to play someone who's, you know, already kind of like it's not a mockery, but it's like a satire of like some shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I see I could go both ways, but I'm also thinking as a creator and someone who makes art, it's like if I'm making a short film or a cartoon, I'm not necessarily thinking about what color the person is who's voicing a character. You know, like I'm just thinking about my character and who has the best voice for that character. But I don't know. I'm like in the middle with that.
And I kind of feel like with something like Big Mouth, like Jenny Slate had to step down as her character. Like Jenny Slate's a great comedian that's in their friend group and they wanted to include, but they also wanted the show to be diverse. It's diverse in a lot of ways, both in subject matter and the people that like write and work on the show. But that one character who's I think half Jewish, half black girl is played by a Jewish actor. So now I don't know. I feel bad. It's also, I don't know how rich or whatever Jemmy Slate is, but I know that there's probably a lot of people who like they have like a couple roles. Like voiceover isn't that lucrative. You don't get a lot of like residuals and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody's like, oh, cool. I'm a white actor. I'm not a famous actor, but my role is playing, you know, a character on an Asian show.
But it still depends on your deal. It depends on your deal points. Like if you're somebody that's big enough and you come in like a Mila Kunis on Family Guy. Like she does Meg's voice. She does that since season, I think 1.5.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is for the we're in all these articles, all these big actors are being used as examples of white people who have to give up their jobs because they're playing characters of color, and part of me wonders about the not as famous actors that just like have a role that it's like that's their job and now they're gonna get fired because.
But you're not thinking about the black people who didn't even get the opportunity.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just thinking about the small people that don't have the job that already have the job.
So you're saying the small people who probably haven't stepped forward yet to
go like,
but at the same time, like my question would be, because this is where the problem lies, is that if there was it wouldn't be a problem, I don't think these voiceover actors would even be doing this if you want to like that again? If there was a plethora of black people that were like, oh, well, we're also in the voiceover industry and we do play a lot of white characters. Yeah. So then there wouldn't be anybody speaking out, stepping down and doing all this extra shit. The problem simply, what it says is that it must be dominated by white people and that no one has tried to change that. And that's why I think some of the leaders are doing it. And those people are bold, and you thank them for it. The guy who's been playing Cleveland also has been there for 20 years, has his own show. So he might have, like I understand what you say, he might have more money. He might have, you know what I'm saying?
I guarantee you they're going to find a spot for Jenny Slate on Big Mouth.
100%.
You know
they're not going to, She just stepped down as that character.
Yeah, yeah.
And that what they simply going to respond is, okay, well, I guess we'll stop writing black characters. Now we're good. That's the answer, guys. All you writers out there, and all you illustrators, can you use lighter paint?
So it is in your mind more about kind of like extending the community, because that actually makes a lot of sense to me. Extending the community of a very small community in Hollywood that happens to be majority white. It's extending that community, but it's not like. Do you look at it like a blackface thing, like just a white person?
No, it's not
voice.
that deep. It's not.
That's
that
what
deep.
I'm just wondering.
Oh no, the people stepping forward and saying like, "Oh, we're gonna step down." I think those people are active in the fight to try to help change. Yeah. I think those people are people who are like, you know what? I'm doing the right thing. I don't think anyone's doing it because the studios are forcing them, even though they will probably start to somewhat. Yeah. But I think those people were like, well, we're leaders in this space, so let us kind of set the mode for where it should head.
I think it was Alison Breeze, because her character, I believe, is like half Vietnamese on BoJack Horseman. And if I'm not wrong, I think she wrote like, I'm so ashamed to have been playing this character for the last 5 years. And I was kind of like, ashamed? Like, I don't know if ashamed. Are you ashamed, or were you not thinking about it, and that's okay?
I think if they made something and they feel proud of the work and it's not anything that's like harming or like pushing some like negative stereotype, then it's like, why would you feel shame?
I agree.
You know? But
yeah, who been playing the bad black cartoon characters out here?
I mean, Apu,
who been playing the nigga that's doing too much?
Apu's doing a little too much.
Apu is doing too much.
Yeah.
Apu is doing too much. Like Apu's been living in this country for a long time now.
A long time.
His accent ain't even changed none.
Yeah.
Like he start losing a little accent when you hear how long Simpsons been running? Damn near
20 years,
32
25?
years, 33 years.
Long.
Yes, I think it was 89.
It's the longest running show, right?
One of the longest running shows, original shows. Yeah. Cops was one of them.
60 Minutes.
They canceled Cops.
Just like recently too.
Yeah, like that's what black people have. Cancel Cops. Get rid of them.
No, we didn't
not
cancel
the show.
Cops like
not
that.
The show, fail. Yeah, they literally. Yeah,
We thought you wanted to cancel cops. We've canceled cops.
Defund the police. Just take
Oh,
cops
man.
off the air.
We got something else lighter?
But you don't feel like, because I've read and been sent this article about like white people using black people's faces as gifts is like a form of digital blackface, is what these kind of ultra left people say. I disagree.
It depends on how. No. It depends on how connected to the culture you are.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you are someone that's using a black person's face and you ain't got no black friends, I don't know why you're using this when you know in that search engine to send a gift out, there were also white faces in it. You never search unless you literally type in black face.
Well, sometimes I'll think about the guy who got either the guy who goes like, and it's like, what? Or the guy who goes, like those two guys? Like those two guys are black guys.
Yeah.
But that's just how it feels sometimes.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
could use a black guy to express that, right?
You're somewhat connected to the culture, so you talk to black people. You know me. You know,
right. It's not like ha 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 ha.
It's not like I don't have any black friends at all, and I'm using I say if your white friend sends you the emoji and it's a black one, sometimes you're like, why did you could have just used yours?
Yeah.
You don't need my emoji. That's mine.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That one makes more sense to me, to be honest.
Emoji?
The emoji's like, the joke is that I'm black. You know what I mean? Like when I send the gift, the joke isn't that the gift is black. The joke is the facial expression.
Unless the gift is, the
But
joke
with
isn't the
the-
gift is black.
Right.
Because sometimes
and
the joke
that's
is
when
the
it's
gift
not
is black.
okay, right? That's when
I
I
don't
see
know.
it as not okay.
Sometimes I send white gifts. It's not the same thing, but I send white gifts because I'm like trying to like it might be me rolling my eyes or me. It's like it's a heightened white thing. Or I'll be like, if I know if I'm in an all black group chat and we talking about like some whatever, I might be like, okay guys, and it's clearly not me, but it's me being like, all right, but I know I'm not using it in like a derogatory way. It's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna find a black gift with no black dude being like, okay guys, so I need to say it with a white gift. You know?
Yeah. Do you have anything like that in the art community where it's like they're like of what your subject matter can and can't be depending on who you are as the person?
Yeah. I would say yes and no. I think for me in art, when I think about art, I think you should just do whatever the fuck you want. Mm-hmm. If it's racist,
that's art.
If you racist, then it's racist, and that's what you want to paint. It's fucking your world, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because like to me, art is just like expression about how you feel, you know. So it's like you start looking about like thinking about how other people are gonna feel about the shit. It's gonna be, I mean, which you do, you know, unfortunately, but that's like a whole different thing. But no, I feel like if a white dude, there is gonna be backlash though, like. Sometimes there's photographers who only shoot, you know, like people, I don't want to say people of color, because it's not just black people. It's just like they'll shoot like darker people, but no white people in their thing. And like some people go at them. It's like, well, you're using all these other people to represent something that you know, are you even a part of that culture? Are you in that wave? And
are you saying a photographer that's not black?
That's not black.
Or a person of color.
Yeah.
You're just saying like that, a white photographer that's like, I only shoot black people.
Yeah.
That'll feel really weird.
But to me, it's like, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, are you in that culture? Are you actually in that community? Or are you just are you just like, oh, these black people look like this. I want to post that shit. Like, you know, it's like, it's different. And I think that's the same thing with like what you see going on with the internet and people like pressing people for not posting anything about all the shit going on right now. When it's like, when you're using that community and you're not a part of that community, I think that's when it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I'm not mad at any photographers that if they live in that culture and want to expose that culture, that's tight, like truthfully. But other than that, it
feels wrong to monetize.
Yeah, like if you can't just be out here like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot these black people, and then I don't, you know, I'm scared as hell as black people. I don't even be around that shit. I never go around anything. I just take the pictures and leave. It's kind of like
which has happened. Yeah,
the tourism shit. You know, with the people go to Africa, they take a bunch of pictures of kids. Nobody does anything. And
exactly,
it's a photo op. You know, that's what it kind of looks like. But I don't know. I just say get it how you live. Really, like, just don't. I don't know. It's just wild. But I feel like with painting, you should paint something that you can like speak on. Sorry, I got away from the mic.
Yeah, something I feel like obviously you're the expert in this, but I feel like with art and with painters in general, they normally paint from experience or something that speaks to them or something. You know what I'm saying? Like versus just there are people that just paint. Like I just want to paint, so I'm just paint. But for the most part, I think people are trying to say something. They're trying to have some kind of message in it somewhere, even if it's hidden. So yeah, I mean that's happened in rap and in a whole bunch of other industries where you'll hear the biggest rap photographers for a long time were all these white dudes.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh man, all these white guys are killing it. And it's like, yeah, or are you just buying their picture? Or are you just, you know what I'm saying? Are you making sure they're blowing up? And are they killing it?
Yeah.
Or are we doing the same thing? We're just not getting the actual look.
Yeah. I think that right now, just on some art shit, it's like not even right now because of like this specific time in the world of what's going on, but like I'm not sure if artists have ever had to be so hypercritical of their own work, or like I feel like this is a time where you're almost like scared to, not me personally, but like I see how someone could be afraid to put something out, like how you feel, because everything is under such scrutiny where it's like, damn, this is how I feel about it. If I say that, it's gonna get taken a million ways, or and it's a photo, so it's a visual thing. So it's like if I make a painting of a flag that's tattered and torn, and it might be a black flag, it might be a Pan-African flag or whatever, American flag, people are gonna put their own reason, their own connotations into it so much.
It's interesting. I mean, that's very true in comedy as well. I think that,
where it's like you almost got to be like, fuck you. It's like you have to be kind of like, yo, this is what I think. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a weird time.
like that you said just like do what you feel, because then otherwise you're never going to make anything.
Yeah.
If you just kind of sit back and think about all the ways that somebody could criticize you for it.
Yeah.
Is there a super known like racist
cartoonist?
No, I was gonna say artist.
Oh, there is a super known racist cartoonist.
I was say artist. Like if we start to even look at old art, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
You dive into some of the. I'm talking about like when you think about like the iconic or the blue chip artists in the world. Is there one that like now and then is that next? You know what I'm saying? Like the arts.
Oh, like if Picasso got canceled?
If Picasso, if we like looked at like, cause shit is coming out about different, like who were we talking about?
Beethoven being black?
Beethoven being black is one thing. Henry Ford.
Oh yeah, we were saying Ford is a Nazi. We're just laughing if like cars were canceled.
Yeah.
Because Volkswagen gave Hitler cars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
I feel like
and then at what point can you not create anything? I'm definitely not siding with the Nazis. I'm just just to be clear.
The craziest part is when, like, what's the line that you draw the line? Where do you draw the line where it's like, okay, I can't separate the art from the person anymore? To me, it's like that's one thing I always think about. Like, damn, R. Kelly got it. Everybody drew the line. Boom, that's the line.
Yeah.
But everybody got. I mean, like. All these artists, not just visual artists, musicians, whoever, everybody got some shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like some people are able to like, oh, well, I still appreciate the art, and some people are just like, nah, fuck that. But
how do you feel like fuck that?
I feel both.
Both.
I feel like
so you DJing a set right now.
No.
Boom, you out.
Throwing R. Kelly.
The fucking vibe is right in the room.
Yes.
And then you like, you know what? I know what kill BPM's on point right now. This is a matchup perfectly. I can mix this shit in ill. You're not dropping the Kells at any.
Can't drop the Kells
as you
at
should.
all.
You
can't drop no R. Kelly. He crossed the line. But I think that if somebody told me that they wanted to, if I was at your home and you played it, that's your prerogative, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to come harass you or nothing. I mean, I might be like, oh, okay.
You gonna sing to it, or you gonna be like, you play this, or you gonna just let a nigga rock out?
Oh man.
Cause low key you low key happy that that other person played it, not you. You like, I missed this song, not the nigga, but I missed this song. I'm gonna let you play this, not me. This ain't me, God.
It's wild. I would say it's super wild even having to like think about that shit. Like, James Brown, wild man. You know what I'm saying?
Wild man.
A lot of these people are not even just black people too. There's fucking Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody got some wild shit that you have to like make a decision on. Like,
it's weird with movies too, because like I think about like a movie like American Beauty, and like that movie. I was just hearing an interview of the lead actress. I can't remember her name, but she was in an interview recently. She was saying that script was huge. Everybody wanted to be in it, and then it actually won the Oscar for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Actress. And Best Writer. So won like the 5 big ones. But Kevin Spacey's the lead. So what does that mean about the movie? Is the whole thing canceled? Or is that writer like not get to show his movie anymore? Does Annette Bening not to get to have her performance shown? All because one guy on the team fucked up?
Yeah.
That's an even more like,
This is just such a wild time, you know, where it's like, I like to, I don't know. I can separate some things. I definitely can separate some of the art from the person. But then I think it's just about continuing to support like someone who's continuing to do something stupid.
100%.
And I'm a
That's true.
a human who fucks up all the time. You know, who's had his for sure share of fuck ups, and it's not like on some public scale. But it's like humans are humans, and to a certain point, we gotta. You know, I don't believe in canceling people. To a certain, you know, there's give and pull. There's some things that are to me unforgivable, but there's some things that's like, oh, he said something stupid. People say stupid shit all the time, bro. Like I can forgive you for saying something stupid, but if you killed somebody, I mean that's different. You know what I'm saying?
What person? No.
What if you? But it's not.
Who would you kill?
I don't know. I mean, and not to keep going into this, but I think I believe in, I believe in, I guess, canceling people. I don't know, people who need to be canceled. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think the ones that need to be canceled are getting canceled,
Yeah.
and then I also think that we talked about this before, but that measuring stick just becomes weird and blurred. Where you're like, okay, well, who's playing the judge in this? And like, because it's not something by trial. It's this thing that it's old tweets.
Yeah.
Who's playing the judge in this? What's his sentence? Is he out of Hollywood, or is he just, you can't direct the Marvel film, or you can't do this thing that you're supposed to do, or is it like, no, you're gone? I think that just becomes the game of the people, and the people decide, and that's where it gets really. It gets really tiptoey, where you gotta fucking appease the people, and you're like, damn, people.
This is wild. Somebody told me J. Cole was canceled after the
rap,
and I said, we're not canceling nobody over no ideas and opinions, bro. Like I mean, like on a song, bro. Like what? It's like I think people just are super like. I don't know. I'm kind of ready to be past this phase. I'm glad that people are aware.
So Kanye. So. Let's get into measurement. So somebody like a Kanye is not cancelable to you.
No, I my Kanye thing where I like when Kanye starts saying all the wild Trump shit. Oh, I'm gonna play some Kanye. I'm gonna play my old joints. I'm gonna play Kanye music because I
don't like that new nigga.
I just can't continue to support. Like, I'm not buying no Yeezys.
The Adidas.
Yeah, I'm not.
The Nike ones on sale.
Like still,
grabbing them.
Me personally, like since. Pro-Trump. I mean, Kanye was for Trump or whatever he was doing, smoke and mirrors, whatever people want to say. I chose my stance of just like, if you feel like that, then I can't really give you my money.
Same here.
I still like your music. I love the music.
Same here.
And if it's a banger, I'm gonna play it as long as it's not talking no whatever shit.
But you're giving him his money if you play it.
But to a certain degree.
To a certain degree. I'm saying if you're streaming a new record.
So I'm saying I have to balance my line where it's like I could be 100% supporting Kanye, which I used to be. I used to be stan Kanye, and I'm not not like the person that just like I'm not trying to super judge you either. I just like know where I stand with the Trump shit.
100%.
So it's like I didn't ride Uber when they supported Trump. Like I deleted Uber. So Kanye, you on that side right now? I'm just not fucking with you. Yeah. But I'd love to meet you and talk and shit. Like, but I'm just can't. Like, I'm just not riding with that.
I think I was the same way. I went through the struggle of like, okay, well, I got these Yeezys and shit. Like, I ain't got hella Adidas Yeezys. But I was like, I got these Yeezys. Can I wear them anymore? Yeah. And my cousin was like, well, the shoes ain't this shit to you. It was like Kanye nigga that said something. You can't buy no more shoes. Yeah. She's like, but you can still wear the ones you already got. You already spent that money. He already made that money. What you gonna do about that now? Yeah. And I was like, I guess that's right. I was thinking about like selling them or doing this. I don't wear them anymore, but I still have them just in case nigga come back around. Yeah. And I feel like he might be trying to come that way.
The Off-Whites, Virgil said the thing the other day. I was feeling like, do I wear these?
It gets tricky because Nike is doing a great job with black people and with the voice and blah blah. Yeah. And then Virgil is not.
Yeah.
So you like, yo, y'all did a collaboration. Like, can I wear 50% of the shoe, nigga? Or how does this? How do I do this?
You gotta go. I gotta put you on ice for a little while, Off-Whites. Y'all gotta chill until
That's
y'all
fair. At least you're not
get
bad.
back right with the community.
My
you know what I'm
girl
saying?
wore Off-Whites to a protest, which was the wildest shit I'd ever seen.
Trump retweets racist video showing supporter yelling white power. President Trump on Sunday retweeted a video of one of his supporters yelling white power, once again using the vast reach of his social media platforms to inflame racial divisions in a nation roiled by weeks of protests about police brutality against black people and demands for social justice reforms. The edited racist video shows a white man riding in a golf cart bearing Trump 2020 and America First signs during what appears to be an angry clash over the president and race between white residents of a Florida retirement community. Mr. Trump deleted the tweet more than 3 hours after posting it. In response to a protester shouting, "Where's your white hood?" and other taunts, the man in the golf cart pumps his fist in the air and says white power twice. The 2-minute video continues to show profane exchanges between protesters and other Trump supporters riding on more golf carts. The president retweeted the video to his millions of followers just after 7:30 a.m., thanking the great people of the Villages, the Florida retirement community where the clash apparently took place.
They call the town is called the friendliest Floridan place. What does the fine print say? If you look like us. Like what? Like
I mean, because I also read articles and I was like, I gotta find this video because like you're like maybe no. In the first 7 seconds of the video, the guy goes white power, like yells
with
it
a fist
at the camera as he's passing.
You
it.
can hear it. Like
There-
he was like, "There's
No, I was just saying, I ain't know. I thought he was on
No, he for
brand
sure
for
was
not
like-
for coming with our. He trying to take our shit.
Nah, he's definitely with it. It's like, yo, bro, it was just wild.
I have to watch it now.
There's no way you didn't see that.
That's like Barack, like it's like Barack Obama retweeting somebody like throwing up like some blood shit. It's just like, yo, you didn't see that, bro? Like you sent that to everybody.
Yeah. Or no, I don't even think it's.
I'm
I think
not saying. I'm
Barack
just saying.
tweeting a dick pic, and you be like, Barack, your dick is on the internet, fam. You white. It says white. The dude said white power. Clear.
I mean, if
couple
you'll
times.
remember,
a couple times.
Like twice or
yeah,
three
I think,
times or some shit.
yeah.
Let me see.
If you remember, I think Barack Obama was a member of a church where the pastor of the church had a separate video than Barack Obama or something set where he didn't even say anything that offensive. It was a little bit like black militant style stuff. And they were like, is Obama, we need to cancel Obama because of this whole entire thing. Like the president literally retweeted a guy yelling white power.
I remember he wore that brown suit or whatever, and it was
Tan
tripping on him.
Yeah.
Bro, a fist bump. They also tripped off him for a fist bump.
Yeah.
Like they tripped off him for anything they could. This motherfucker tweets something that says white power. And how long was it up?
I think it was up for 14 hours.
14
It
hours?
wasn't like, whoops.
So it wasn't the dick pic. Because you take dick pic right down. It was 14 hours?
There was an argument, I'm sure, in the White House about whether we should take this down, and Donald Trump was like, "Don't take it down." The other thing that blows my mind about it is because even if you wanted to believe, which there's honestly no way you can believe that someone said he didn't see white power. There's no way. But the rest of the video is just like people fighting.
Yeah.
And it's called the friendliest community in the USA. And if it is, and he's turned all these people against them in this like ultimate division.
It's not the friendliest place.
Of course it's not. But
the fact that you even put it on the table, Bobby, like, and if it is, and they now are being met, it's like, no, these people are shit.
If he's not just advertising racism, which he is, he's advertising division of like everyone being torn apart. Look what I've done. I've torn this whole community apart.
Yeah. It doesn't make, I don't know how we are 4 years in or three years and change in, and the fact that he still has his own password to his Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the most insane thing. I always think like, the fact that they still you don't think anyone else is tweeting but him.
Yeah.
You're literally like, this is what he like. This is him. This is him. So if you DM him anything, he sees it.
Yeah.
And he sees DMs. This motherfucker he blocks people for DMs sometimes. Which means he's reading. How you got time, fam?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be running a country that's not looking the greatest right now. How do you have time to be tweeting, answering, replying? It should be tweeting, I'm done. I ain't even been back on my page again because I've been fucking working or golfing like he normally is. But instead, it's like, oh no, I'm at all y'all heads.
This shit's a movie.
This shit really is a movie.
It's like 10 movies.
Is it a good one? Is the question.
Every movie you're like,
If we wasn't in it.
Yeah, if we were like having to be in the shit, it'd be a great movie.
Remember how many movies there were before coronavirus happened?
No, yeah.
Like, then you're like, oh no, I guess this is the movie. I thought that was the movie. I thought that was the movie.
You never thought you'd be like, man, 2020 was the craziest year ever. But yeah, it has been now. Well, not now. Yeah, it's been the craziest year ever.
Here's my conspiracy take though, because there's a guy named Steve Bannon who used to work in the White House who was like had this strategy, and he said, if there's anytime you're like passing really big stuff that's actually affecting the world, like economically or like, you know, justice reform, stuff like that, do something that affects identity politics, because the left will only look at identity politics. So whenever he does something straight racist out of nowhere, I'm like, what does he not want us to look like right now? And I know that like it's important that he's racist as well. I don't mean to just like take away from that. So I can't, as everyone's tweeting like, what the hell, the president's a racist, I don't want to go like, but let's get past that. Yeah. What else is happening? Because then people are going to be like, fuck you. That's
I think you're
focused on.
I think
because it doesn't affect me personally as much. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm more like,
why you're able to look at it as what the marketing around it, of like why
did you do this?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Why did you argue to keep it up for 12 hours?
Yeah, but that's like what I always say is I don't care to dive into the psyche of a racist. I don't care to be like, well, why is he hate us so much? I'm like, no, fuck you, and like this is no. I'm not gonna look at the, you know what I'm saying? I joked about this, the deck of America, or like, well, what, you know, they have, of course they're putting a plan together. A team, how can we get them to vote this way or do? Of course that's where it comes from. I don't think Trump is, personally, I don't think Trump is as, I think he's a loose cannon, but I also believe a lot of his stuff is
calculated.
It's calculated.
Yeah.
It's calculated as fuck.
So that's why so there's this other story about.
It has to be though.
There's no way.
That's the only thing that bothers me.
Yeah,
is like,
right.
I'm like, okay, I know there's like some real, like the whoever really runs America and shit. Like they're like, okay, like it's just no way you just do a bunch of like wild shit with no like. I get what you're saying, because I always wonder like, yeah, what are they really like? What's the play? What are they trying to do?
Right.
2 men rob U.S. convenience store wearing watermelon rind disguises. One suspected melon head has been charged, the other is being sought. As disguises go, these were pretty seedy. Police in Louisa, Virginia took to social media on Saturday in hopes of finding 2 men accused of robbing a convenience store on May 6 with watermelon rinds on their heads. Surveillance cameras at a Sheetz store caught the scofflaws in the act, but they managed to elude authorities thanks to their brilliant disguises, according to the New York Post. That is until Sunday, when authorities arrested 20-year-old Justin Rogers in connection with the Post deemed the melon drama. Ugh, these puns. Rogers was booked on 3 charges, according to TMZ: misdemeanor larceny of alcohol, misdemeanor possession of alcohol by an underage person, and felony prohibition of wearing a mask/face covering in public. 3 charges, though. Okay. Police are still on the lookout for a second person, according to Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Candace Wendt, a customer at the convenience store when the robbery took place, thought the disguises fell in the thin line between stupid and clever. I think it's ridiculous, innovative, but ridiculous, Wendt told WRIC-TV. The amount of work that you have to do actually to hollow out a watermelon to stick on your head, I think, is kind of crazy. More than anything, I'm impressed.
They got to throw out that second. That's not going to get thrown out. If I'm your lawyer with Corona going on, I'm fighting and saying these were their coronavirus masks. They went in there and they weren't trying to rob the place. They can't afford real masks. So all they had at home were watermelons. They were being resourceful, and they put the watermelons over their head. Did they have a weapon? They didn't have any weapons, did they? No weapons. Oh, man, I'm getting you off. Not gonna lie. I'm your lawyer. I'm getting you off. You didn't rob anybody.
What? Isn't it way harder to put together the melon than like a ski mask?
That definitely started off as arts and crafts.
Yeah.
It was not. Nobody planned on robbing. It was like, well, all we gotta do is cut together watermelon masks and then we can rob them. It's like, no. They were like, yo, this is funny if you do some carving and some watermelons. And then they was like, you know what we could use these for? We could probably go down to the convenience store and take some chips or some shit, and nobody would know who did it.
And these guys are drunk as hell because he's also being charged with all his alcohol.
They also bought the watermelons in the store.
This sound like the shit from Django. Where they had the mask.
Oh, yes. Oh,
They're like running into each other.
that scene was hilarious.
See?
Just like I just
My wife
wondered.
made them.
Yeah. Just like I wondered, did they have like a strap or something just for the like?
I'm looking at it.
They got pictures of the map. Bro, these are kind of tight though.
Look like fucking modernized Daft Punk.
Yeah, this looks like some DJ shit.
It
low-key.
does. The Watermelon Man. Okay.
They might-
DJ
bro,
Melon.
They got I could spin that for sure into a career.
Mm.
Out of that, had these two dudes pull up.
This kind of dope. And one of them on some real shit. First glance looked like an alien with a goddamn hoodie on.
Yeah, it looks like photoshopped. It's kind of
The other dude's watermelon isn't as good.
yeah. You got
And he showed all neck.
Let me see.
Knew exactly who he was. He's like, nigga, that's your neck.
Yeah, the first one looks the eye holes.
Yeah, that motherfucker. This dude
You
looks
should
like
you should hire that guy,
Yeah,
Blue.
this dude-
Bro.
That guy's an artist.
yeah, his shit look fire.
Yeah, shit is fire.
He got
Shit
like
is-
the like Jack Skellington eyes on it, where it's like kind of like cool too.
And they are practicing social distancing in it too. It's a sign right there that says 6 feet apart. They definitely are
Bro.
around 6 feet apart. We cover more ground that way. This is interesting. Yeah, they're not going to jail.
I felt like those charges was the first charge something intense because the second one was like possession of alcohol and the third one was like wearing a mask in public.
Yeah, but that was the only
guy's
that was the only
felony.
felony was the mask in public. But that's not even that can't be a felony right now.
What were the three charges?
Misdemeanor larceny of alcohol, misdemeanor possession of alcohol by an underage person, and felony prohibition of wearing a mask/face covering in public.
So they just went in there drunk as hell, stole some shit.
Stole
And
some
they're
alcohol.
20
And
and
they-
they wanted the alcohol and they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Here's
Well,
what
I don't know if
they-
they couldn't afford it.
Well, here's what. Oh, yeah, right. They couldn't pay for it because they're
They
under
paid for
21.
them watermelons.
They're under 21, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They couldn't buy
They
it.
couldn't buy it. Yeah.
But here's what I was thinking the other day. I was at a 7-Eleven or whatever, and I got White Claw or whatever. I was wearing a mask, and they were like, can I see your ID? I had like a mask with barely my eyes showing. And I showed them my ID, but I was like, that could have been anyone's
Yeah.
ID.
Yeah.
So I was like, this must be a great time to be a high school student. A
Yeah.
tall high school student.
Yeah.
Not that I'm encouraging high school students to drink. But I'm saying that it could have been pretty easy for them. They didn't need to go all full watermelon.
This whole thing is getting thrown out. Then I love one of the quotes. Literally, one of the quotes is, "I think it's ridiculous, innovative, but ridiculous." I was like, it is kind of innovative. It's kind of cool. Babe, do I have more weed in that drawer or more weed out there?
Dead wrong. Feds sent $1.4 billion in stimulus checks to over 1 million deceased. More than 1 million Americans who had died received COVID-19 stimulus payments totaling $1.4 billion, a government watchdog said in a report to Congress released Thursday. The finding is part of a sweeping review of the federal government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic by the Government Accountability Office, an independent nonpartisan congressional agency. The report paints a clearer picture of what critics called a muddled rollout by the Internal Revenue Service as the Treasury Department of more than 160 million payments worth $269 billion.
You ever feel like the government just has like dial-up internet and like they're really bad at anything technical?
Oh, yeah.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, no, because I don't watch wrestling.
But like they got just like giving us our checks, the fact they got that wrong. You know? Or do you think they just went, no, that was a plan all along. We knew we were going to hit some dead people, but those checks wouldn't be cashed.
I don't know. I don't know if. I feel like if they thought like that, they would probably make a statement saying that.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, they would have probably told people if a check comes to you and that person is deceased, you cannot cash it, blah, 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 blah. This. The fact that they didn't say anything close to that and they sent out 1.4 billion sounds like they're not doing their jobs right.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they should know
where
who's
billions
living?
of dollars is going.
If nothing else, my nigga, you should know who's dead.
Like, don't y'all have like everything of like all the stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like,
When you start saying it like simplest form like that, like with him being like, but your NASA is like, yeah, what are we funding? Like, what is all the money going to for this? Like, the government, you don't have somebody to do a fucking check. I mean, yeah, maybe if there was a report that like $20 million went to people that were dead, you'd be like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We knew that was 1.4 billion.
Yeah, I get them being like, well, we just worked off of the TurboTax documents. And we didn't want to go see how many of them died.
Yeah.
That seemed like a lot. But that's not, like, once again, that's not what they said. It's just, it's so sad when government agencies are really bad at their jobs. Because then you understand why people want to give less money to government agencies.
Yeah. What was the amount we just went over recently that was like, how much, oh shit! If I mean you just talking about that, like just if we defunded like obviously a portion, just a portion of shifting the police, like just all the stuff that we could cover throughout the country to just like we pay for all of this stuff and we're really giving all of this money to the police. Like this makes no sense. So when people start fighting back the whole defund the police thing, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
When you start diving into the numbers and like you really just look at like the simplest version of it.
Disheartened people will tell you you give a job like giving a stimulus package to the community, and they fucking lose $1.4 billion because they don't know where it went. Like that's not a great sign for, well, we should give the money to other communities. It's like, well, that's gonna fuck up unless we just get better at running government bureaucracies, which I think has to do with tech, but that's just me.
So you think more money needs to go to the government?
Like I think that the money from the police departments should be put into making other.
Oh yeah.
I think everything should be more efficient, and then you won't have to waste that much money. And the way to make that efficient is using tech.
I've come to the full the conclusion that like I don't think they really are trying to make things better. Which is like a fucked up stance to come when you like start looking at shit. You're like, oh, y'all could just do this, and I know that's not that easy. I know it's just not as easy.
No, that's what people say to you to make you stop trying.
It's gotta be like some. This is the only reasoning I have is like, okay, I looked today and saw how much New York and LAPD, like how much money they get and shit, and it's like, bro, teachers make no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you even have to explain defunding the police to like people who are just like so pro police, where it's like, bro, you don't have to be an idiot to just like look at this shit and see like, oh, we could definitely like make this shit like right or better or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Sometimes not even sometimes, it's like, it's kind of like fucked up, but like I'm fully to the point where it's like, the government to me is not like something that I like believe in, like for change, which is kind of fucked up. I mean, it's not fucked up.
No,
like,
do you think that? No, I think the government has. I think that's not fucked up. I think the government has given you every reason to not believe.
When you watch like the protest and shit, it was like, and you got so many people who are pro-violence, anti-violence. Protests aren't all violent, but it's like, to me, it's like being a realist and looking like how the world works. It's like you need some of that. Like when people go and fuck shit up, you get some answers, bro. Like it's just like, okay, now some shit's like shaking.
You gotta be disruptive.
It's like, but it just so hard to get that to actually not like violence, but just the people to move as one. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
And are you saying that also that like when you see mistakes like this, is like they're set up to fail so that people can go, government doesn't work, told you, or no, you're not saying
No. I just feel like after so many times of like, we've seen the same story happen a million times with police brutality and all the shit. And like, I feel like personally, and maybe it's not, you know, maybe there's some other, we can have a million conspiracies, but like because of Corona and the fact that no one's at work, like not one person is like at work, like, you know, like, I mean, you got essential workers or whatever.
Sorry. Drop it. Move.
Like,
Thank you.
I don't know. Would this even happen? Like, would things be this radical at this moment if you just had to go to work tomorrow and like, you know, and so had to go to work? It's like once the shit started actually going down, then you're just like, oh, this is real. This is big. Like something has to happen. Like I feel like, I don't know. It's just like to like wait on government sometimes is like, man, you be waiting for, it'll just never happen. I feel like if someone's not just like kicking some ass, it had to be a goddamn war to get the damn slaves free. You know what I'm saying? Not like just some cool, like, all right, we'll just do it. We're going to do it in whatever year they plan. It's like, it always takes some radical action. And I think with the internet, sometimes people forget the fact that you have to, like, in real life matters more than just like, oh, let's all tweet about this shit and sign a petition. Like, you need that, but you need people in the streets.
100%. But I think, like I've said this before, I think it's funny, but like I said, the internet was, in my opinion, the white man's first big mistake. And with this country, we tried out, this was a big experiment. This was a big experiment.
Oh, nice. Oh, you rolled individual joints. Well done.
That's why I was taking so long. Yeah. And I didn't want to give them out until I was done with all three of them. Because I was going to be jealous if a nigga was getting high without me. But it was a huge experiment. And some people may argue, oh, this experiment didn't go right. And I think there are a lot of things. Like, I know different countries, and they all operate differently. I know a lot of people wrote us and were like, wait, you guys have police officers in your schools? Like, you have police officers in places that sometimes you get in your bubble in this country and you think that shit is normal. You think like, oh, well, everybody got police officers in their schools? And you're like, no, other countries don't, because they're not handing out guns either. Yeah. So it's just like the experiment or the things that this government may have put in place. Some of the ideas were good conceptually, but I always go back to, people need to be able to at least be okay with everything being readdressed, because they were all done by racist white dudes. So once you understand the core of who made the laws of the land and stuff, obviously new laws are put in place and stuff like that, but the foundation there is still a shitty foundation. Yeah. So we're trying to now modify as much as we can, instead of looking at it and being like, fuck, do we scrap it? That's the scariest part, is that, like, do we scrap it? Do we try? So defunding the police in Minnesota, Minneapolis, doing what they're doing, for me is like, I love it. You're a guinea pig, and seeing ultimately if there's a bigger fucking scope of things. Like, okay, let's work on this one thing, and then from there, if that thing can work, people putting in place this, maybe this other thing we can change too now. Maybe this it's gonna be a trickle down effect, and to the point that years down the line, the country may look completely different, and that's what white supremacists fear most. Yeah, they fear that they will be extinct, and that's why white supremacy exists. Yeah. It's because they're afraid that in however many years you're gonna look at America and their grandfather, they had so much pride in, whether they knew the real history of him or not, they have pride in him doing this thing, that his legacy will be washed away. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, maybe it should.
Yeah. Well, that's like the statue shit right now.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about that?
No, we haven't. We didn't really dive into
statues that much.
No, we didn't really dive into statues.
It's crazy because all that shit is political, but like, they handing out a crazy time for fucking up a statue. Like, y'all ain't even fucking y'all not even pressing these people who are killing people, but y'all, you get 10 years, you fuck with vandalize a statue.
And the nigga who ain't here no more.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's the difference between a sculpture and a statue?
You asking that for real?
What?
Asking. Statues are normally made in remembrance of somebody, to honor them, and I think sculptures are made from artists putting things together.
So you can't be like...
But you can be an artist that makes statues as well. But I don't know who's the most famous statue.
Yeah, I feel like you'd just call it... Because I'm like, it's a fucking... I don't know. I think what I would say the same thing you said, though. The difference between a statue and sculpture.
Is it fictional and real? Because like David is a...
But then it's like, if you ask somebody, that's a sculpture.
Or is David a statue?
I wonder if it's like, if it's an art piece or if it's like a memorial. But I don't know, because some of that shit's both. Like the Lincoln Memorial, what is that? It's a statue.
It's a statue.
But it is a sculpture, though. I don't know, shit.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
now you fucked me up with that.
The sculpture could be just the term of what it is, like, you know, like on canvas, like it's a sculpture. That's how it's made. But I don't know. That shit's tricky.
I know I
It's
changed
gotta
the
be some
subject.
kinda-
I was just thinking about
How,
it.
how do we change, or how does the world change or disrupt art? Like, you know, art in general, like something like art has been so protected by the powers that be, you know, money, people in place that actually kind of dictate where art goes, whether or not people, you know, is subjective. So it's whether or not people like it or if it's good. There are ways, yeah, of course you study art, you know what makes certain art good, but still, art is still kind of decided by people.
Yeah.
How does that industry change, if ever? And what do you think we can do? I hate that. I mean, I guess it's kind of goes to the interview question. But what do you think that we can do to kind of, and I won't let you cop out with just saying support black art, because that's definitely the right answer. But what do you think we do kind of change or you know, change the mode of art and you know, from a sculpture standpoint or a painting standpoint?
In a sense of like people, or like who's on top or what? I think it's as easy as this. Sometimes I get really frustrated when I talk about art and like me not being some big millionaire painter, you know, because there are people who are, and maybe I mean, you know, everybody has their like debates about, oh, I rap too, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But like literally
But
my problem with art is that like if you have, I think the way people, how shit is now, we literally have the option to pick our champions. You can say, this guy, I think this guy's tight, and I want to continue to put this person on. I think the issue is that like when it comes to like how do you say, like someone will post her at a Murakami gallery more than they would post her at like maybe their favorite artist who's not a big guy type thing. It's like really just about exposure and support. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's as easy as like Instagram. Like all these artists have the ability now to like, you know, you're going 100% to me. You can DM shit anybody, really. Like you can hit up anybody, the president. You can hit up the president. So like, I think it's just about like, and I think it's on an artist as well. It's like, for me, it's like what I try to do is I'm trying to build a thing where I can grow myself. I don't have any art representation. I don't have a gallery that represents me. I don't have a guy who's going to tell you how much it's going to cost. It's me. I'm going to tell you how much it costs. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know. It's just like continuing to, I don't know. I don't really know how to like explain like how that shit works.
So, you know, like in streetwear, we'll say maybe, can we all agree, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, streetwear kind of transitioned from being streetwear to just being fashion, right?
Yeah. Where
streetwear became fashion. Like you would start saying the Louis Vuittons and these big houses go in the direction of streetwear, right?
Yeah.
Quote unquote. Art. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do you think we see these big galleries? Because there are different ways to kind of approach it as well.
So you're saying that streetwear was kind of like an underground, almost like a collective of yours, and then this higher form,
of course,
got a hold of it, and still in this. I'm just as an outsider of the art community.
So as somebody that can be real or frank, of course, we know this. White America's always been okay with buying black culture, but not buying into black people.
Yeah.
So they'll say, okay, I like this black coach. I like this thing you have, this thing that you're able to do. I don't know if I'm really willing to invest in you.
Yeah.
But I do like this thing. So give me this thing or I'll buy this thing. And I feel like in streetwear, you know, it's been called out and it's kind of been forced now to be like, hey, you
Gatekeeper.
Yeah, at what point are we starting either our own galleries? Because that's probably the best way to do it is to just start your own galleries where you're able to represent artists.
Yeah.
And say, actually, we'll represent you. and we'll just get in the art game. We know dealers, we know this, we know that. Versus, I guess, trying to join the country club that that they don't want you
For
at.
sure. I think you have to.
No Timberland boots in this country club.
Yeah.
It's a simple rule, nigga.
I think it's just about investing in the right artists, and I think if you're someone who's able to kind of curate and like hold a lot of like, it just goes back to the same thing, man. Like these investments and investing in the right people, and and growing shit. Like lighter. Like imagine if I don't know. I just think like you continue to empower the artist, whether that's buying pieces from them, but like I don't know how to like explain it. It's like cultivating like a plant, bro. Like imagine if you're growing this thing and I think this thing's gonna be pretty cool. It's unique and shit. You start putting this money into it. It's like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain the shit because like I know how to do it. I know how it's done, but I don't know how to tell you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
to me, I always feel like you have such a true like artistic instinct.
I think it takes the artist. I think it takes an artist, like one or two or three, you know what I'm saying, to actually combine their brains and say we're gonna do it this way instead of that way. Like imagine whatever stage I'm at, I'm continuing to grow as an artist, and then imagine if I link up with somebody who's equal to or bigger than me, or a big bro type, Hebrew Brantley, who's doing a great example and shit like. And then we reach out and get one more guy, and we do our own gallery. And it's, okay, now we reach out to our homies, and this person shows this. Oh, the whole show is sold out.
It's just building that network.
It's building,
continuing to sow those seeds into your own, because those seeds become plants, and those plants grow.
And it's owning it. It's like, okay, and so like when I do my art shows, and this is some rare shit. I've only done one art show by myself, but it's like I'm not linking with no gallery. I'm not. It might be something that hinders me in one sense, but it's like. The way I plan on building the business is like, I want to own this. I want to find a spot. So when all the paintings sell out, I get owner's percent.
Yeah.
I don't need 100%.
Yeah.
But you're not going to tell me what I'm going to get. You
of
know,
course.
like I'm saying, you're not going to say, oh, Blue, you're going to get 50, you're going to get 20%. We pay for this, we pay for this.
You're doing proof of concept. Like versus you being like, hey, I want you to invest in me. You want to grow yourself, because obviously we're all brands. You want to grow yourself to a level that now you need me.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna bring.
I'm making my money.
Yeah,
you want a cut of that versus, hey, I need you to help me make money. Of course, it's literally where I think we all live and the way we live our lives of like, hey. Me doing ridiculousness for so many years is stuff that I look at it and I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever I do next has to be something that is true to my voice, or else I get pigeonholed in this and viewed a certain way.
Yeah.
So I have to do what's true to me to, I guess I think as an artist, to be happy, to be able to live with myself.
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to live with yourself. You want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, I know I did shit. I tried to do shit the right way, or I invested enough in myself. Like I gave myself the best shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
but I'm also hot.
And it only takes one, and that's the whole thing. It only takes one person to break the whole fucking shit. Napster, boom, done. It's over. Music's different now. You know what I'm saying? Like same with art, same with like there's people who.
Can I ask some questions about like almost like the hierarchy of the art community to understand it a little more?
I don't see, the crazy thing is I'm not in the art world.
Yeah.
I'm
but,
like,
and
that's why
and what you're kind of saying is, artist. And like, right. I oftentimes find that some of the best artists of every world kind of don't concern themselves with the business of it. That's also a lot of times the reason we have agents and managers, and so they can do that.
Yeah. Well, you want to let creators create. You don't want to bother them like. But a friend of mine manages like a big star, right? And talking to him beforehand about when we started the business, we were like, oh, well, blah blah blah, that's what we're doing. He's like, look, let me let you know like this. Your job, if you're gonna work behind the scenes, is to allow that person to be the best, whatever they can be. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna be frank, like Mav Carter, LeBron's manager, said, my job is to let LeBron only worry about being the best basketball player in the world, because everything else falls in place.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you want to make yourself, you want to brand yourself correctly as an artist, and then everything else will fall in. You know what I'm saying? Everything else will fall in place, and I think that's what you're doing. You're doing a really good job at that. I think you do a good job at creating, and that's your job. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, I'm high. Again, all right, cool.
Nah, fucking, it's insane. Like, because I'm a bit of both, and I'm at the point where I'm kind of letting go of some of the, you know, I'm letting go of all the responsibilities of being super CEO. Oh, I gotta handle this shit. Oh, I gotta go run and do this. Oh, I gotta ship this painting. Oh, because I do a lot of I used to do 100%. Now I'm doing, you know.
So
80.
what happens if you have this the social network style moment where you are at a drinking appletinis with Justin Timberlake as Sean Parker of the art world? He wants to do, I don't know, something. And he's like, I've already infiltrated because the big art world is like a whole world of its own that there's a lot of almost like corruption in, and I'm talking about old school art world and maybe new school art world. This is what I don't know. I kind of want to ask questions.
Art world is drug dealing, man.
Right? Isn't it kind of crazy? But it's like, I always imagine like tall white French art drug dealers basically.
Well, it's
and then they
it's one of the only, or it
if
is
you
the
hit a Sean
only,
Parker who's like, I'm ready to get you in this game and become this type of artist, I want to do that. Are you concerned about that? Where you like, no, I'd rather do it my way? Or are you just like, I just want to be empowered as an artist?
I'm both ways kind of, because I'm like,
so all my drug dealer homies out there, if y'all looking for some shit to get into, y'all heard my dog.
Low key.
And also the tall French people.
Fuck with your boy.
I mean, think about this. If you sell, let's imagine you've been doing these paintings for 20 years. This certain style of painting, you've been doing that shit. And, you know, you've had your success in some shit. And like, you know, if you're doing all right, you making a living off of it or whatever. Maybe you're not, whatever. And then you meet some motherfucker and they're like, yo, I'm so-and-so. I can get your painting sold for $2 million. It's like.
And they're played by Justin Timberlake.
I'm just saying, like, it's a game. It's like.
Yeah.
And I think the best part of the art world is knowing that, like, I don't know, just being aware that it is a game also, because it's like, I love painting and I never thought I'd sell paintings for a living and shit. So like me asking somebody for like, you know, how much for this painting, I'm going to tell you a number that I think is like, you know, not disrespectful, you know, just because I don't come from bread. It's just like how I am. It's just like, bro, it's tight. You'll give me this much, but like, you know, this is what I think it's worth, you know?
Mm-hmm. You just got a real artist mentality.
Yeah. Like I'm actually a painter, but there's people who don't look at it like that. There's people who suck at painting who will ask you for fucking $1 million with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's like it's such a wild thing that it's like, you know, art is the unregulated fucking market. It's like, you could also, if you have the right person, they'll tell you, yeah, it is worth that because this person got one, this person got one, this person got one.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know, it's a bit of a popularity contest, but
it's a way of creating like wealth within their own communities.
Yeah.
It's just like, it always blows my mind.
There's hella cheat code. There's people who really cheated. Like, you know, who like.
It's only ran by a select few.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like a handful of people who run it. So they're like, oh, they own all these galleries and it's just trading money. But our game is interesting.
I don't know. I just thought it was a fascinating conversation because I don't know very much about it, but I know both of you must from an artist perspective and a
the coolest thing
perspective.
For me is like, I never thought I would be a painter, like someone who sold paintings for a living. I always thought I'd be like a creative director. Like I know how to do a bunch of shit. I know art stuff. I know, you know, other shit, but like literally like fucking watching this shit like come alive and like, I don't know. It's just like, I can't even describe like how much shit like I've artists are the only people who can live within any fucking, you know, spectrum just based on like how good you're able to paint something. And like, I just feel like you just got to keep like leveling that shit up. And I feel like the way to actually break the system is like, And I'm trying to be in this. This is how I approach making art. Is like go big, reinvest, and like once you can finally do it, like yo, like my first art show I ever did, like me and one of my homies, we just like this how it should be. We found a spot, got all the paintings in there, like made it happen, and it was crazy packed, you know, sold a whole bunch of shit, didn't sell all my paintings. I'm not like one of the people who lie and be like, oh, every painting sold out of the, no, like I sold some paintings. I was trying to, you know, see how much where my price point was, just like testing shit out. Like I've never done this and I'm paying for this shit. So like my next show, like knowing how crazy it could be and then like pushing it past that. Like I feel like doing that, and it's like, oh, this dude Blue, he just did $1 million show or by himself, no investor, no, just off the strength of relationships, people being a fan of the work.
But that's also off the strength of you're really good at marketing as well. Whether now you realize it,
I know a little bit because
no, you're good.
I pay attention to shit.
Yeah,
sure.
and so you saying, oh, I wanted to be a creative director makes a lot of sense because it's like you're really good at telling a story. And it's one of the things I always look at shit. I'm like, that's so fucking dope. That's a really good way to tell that story, to show this visual, to show this photo off, or to show off this piece of art, but not look like I'm trying to show off this piece of art. Like you're just really good at that. And I think just it kind of I'm high. Fuck, I was gonna say kind of just comes off you naturally. So and that's really. Nigga, I'm so high.
Alien Labs, baby. This is their outdoor.
I don't know if that was the Alien Labs.
Ah, damn.
I rolled.
I'm really into Alien Labs. Sorry,
but I think it might have been Alien Labs.
No, I also think you're a natural at it as well. It feels like to me.
Thanks,
I mean,
Chris.
we're just gonna have a fucking.
It's tight because
we're trying.
If I talk about that shit, I get super deep into it, and it's like I don't know. It's like some real shit. Like I do painting and shit, and like, like this shit's, it's like something I really just like enjoy doing, and it's like amazing that I get to like fuck around for a living and like push these ideas, and like people will sometimes like be like, yo, how much for that?
And I be telling him charge more. I'd be like, charge more, fam.
I bet.
Man,
that'd be the one note I would give you.
I bet it's true.
Just for the.
No, I'm doing it.
Charge more.
I'm asking now for real. I'm like, shit. I know it's worth it.
I think that's a good advice for anybody at a certain point in the career.
Charge more.
To just start charging more.
My boy posted something this week. I thought it was cool.
Realizing that they could
it said black women ask for more money. And I was like, that's fucking real.
Yeah.
And he just started breaking down exactly. He was like, this is what I'm saying right now as a black woman in the world right now. Just ask for more. Understand your worth. You've been told it's not, and this is your moment to kind of just demand more. And I was like, that is fucking real.
Yeah, especially if you have a lot of experience, you've been at this company for so long. I think those are a lot of
no,
people.
Fuck that. Period.
There's a lot of Gen Z people who are like, before I start working for anything,
I'm in the middle now.
I need to be paid very well. And I'm
not like that.
You're 19.
But shit, the art should be so weird. It's the hardest thing to like quantize.
It's hard to realize
trying to
that's
ask
the moment.
To like, justify, like it don't matter like how long did it take me to make it? That's not why I'm charging you.
True.
I might be the fastest painter in the world. Does that mean my shit's cheaper? Like no. So it's like for the size of it, does that matter? A little bit. If it's a giant painting, of course it's gonna be more just for scale, but like I can't justify really how much a painting costs. You ask me, like,
yeah, how
like
do
then
you,
I start like thinking about
do you do
like,
it before or after? Do you like finish it and then go, this is how much it costs?
If I already painted it,
Mm-hmm.
that the painting, the asking price can slide depending on when you're buying it and who you. To me, like if you're my homie, I'd be wanting you to have a piece. It's not a good practice, but it's like, if you're my friend, I'd be like I want you to have a piece, bro. Yeah. So like, I'd be like, let's get this shit done. But like, if it's a commission, we're gonna figure out a price before for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
What are you ever in the middle of like a commission and then you're like, this is one of my favorite things I've ever made, and you're like, I
don't really feel attached to paintings.
Oh, really?
Once I make them, the attachment comes like after maybe I have it for 3 days just so I can visually remember the painting how it looks. But like the moment was making it for me, and like the idea. I have the idea.
I love it.
It's like
I feel it.
It's some real art.
I get
shit.
it.
But that it really is like,
I totally get what you're
I can
saying.
make another one if I wanted to.
Artsy as hell, bro.
This is real shit, bro.
You talk like an art nigga, bro. You so cool, nigga.
But nah, that's some super art shit though. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would be like if we just like constantly listen to our own podcasts walking around our house like all the time, like having your stuff only. Like, what if you only had your stuff in your house, or do you do that? I have no idea what it's like to be a visual
I
artist.
definitely want other people's stuff in my house.
Yeah, how do you decorate your own
Yeah.
space? Do you use your stuff?
I got some of my stuff up too.
I like that.
But that's just
that makes
because
sense.
like, but if you walk to my crib, you saw something you like, I'd probably sell you that. I'd be like, oh, okay, like what's good? I wouldn't be like, what's good? But if you were like really trying to buy it, I'd be like,
have you done your dishes?
you know,
Have you done your
First thing a
dishes?
nigga say, you walk in his crib,
yo,
you try
man,
to
you
get
try-
this?
you want this one?
Try to get this? Damn, feel like take my shoes off yet.
Nah, it's like one painting I have that's like I tell people it's not for sale, but I'll sell it. But it's just like I really like that painting.
You don't see for me, and for you. You know that's why I tell you this. Like for me, yes, I agree, and I love the fact that that's the way you create. But also, you gotta still look at the market. You gotta still look across the board and say, you know what? Well, I know the time, the this and that, and on top of that, I know kind of where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And who is charging
But
what?
I don't know where I'm at though.
That's because you don't want to know where you at.
That's because I can't. Because I'm me.
So you just need somebody else to look at where you're at.
It's like I just be feeling
I
I just be feeling like normal ass Brian all the time. So I don't know where I'm at and the shit. But the painting shit is like, imagine if you go out and you hoop one day and you drop fucking 50 points. You're gonna be like, you're not forever gonna want to replay that moment. You're gonna want to go do that shit again, like, you know, or drop 60 or drop that. That's how I be feeling about paintings. So.
Yeah, it's like get up, me Nucky. Get Nucky.
Down.
No, I will love you.
My dog was on Beyonce list, bro. I don't know if you saw that, fam.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Beyonce.
What you mean with that, man? You ain't see the list?
It's like
You ain't the part of the Beehive?
I mean, I guess I can guess what it is as part of Beyonce's list. Does that mean you're like one of? Is it all artists? Just all things? It's like Barack Obama.
It's all things black.
It's black businesses and
Yeah.
shit.
That's fucking awesome.
Made the
How many
Beyonce
artists
list.
were there on the list?
I don't know.
It was I think in the beginning it was select few, but now they've been constantly updating it, which
Oh,
was
it's
really
like a constant
which is
going
really
thing.
cool because it's just allowing more because they're of course
awesome.
they're just learning about more black businesses. So they're like, oh, this black.
That's what I'm
business.
saying. Do you gotta put me on this so I can follow it? Just like, and then I can finally know when people are having DJ battles.
He talking about verses.
Yeah.
Okay, Jadakiss and Fabulous coming up. You gonna watch that?
I'll watch it 100%.
Do you? How many Fabulous
it
songs do you
verses?
know? This is verses.
All right, what fabulous songs do I know? I know at least one. You're
Is it
gonna tell.
one.
I know a giant hit.
Mm.
Fabulous.
Okay, he's spelling his name with a U in the middle.
Fab. All right,
It's Fabulous.
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 All right, tell me the one that I know but I can't think of.
But if I tell you it, you're gonna just say that's the one.
No, I'll be honest.
I don't know which one. I would.
So how many name Fabulous? Who is he going
Can't
against?
deny it. I can't deny it.
I'm a fucking rider. Yeah, that's Fabulous. Fuck with me, of course.
Yeah,
With me. Yeah.
Wait.
What if I knew?
Which version you singing? Let me
I don't
see.
know. I'm not sure yet.
Keep going.
That was it.
What if I knew every?
But he might be
single
singing the original.
Y'all can't
Yeah.
deny it, right?
Yeah, holla back,
I'm
young
a fucking what? Holla back.
Hey, holla back.
All right, I guess I know.
Okay, you back out more. You back out way more there, bro. You know, breathe.
Breathe is the.
Breathe.
That's the one I.
Oh.
That's the end. That's.
1 and a 2, 2 and then a 3, 3 and a 4. Then you got he got other songs too.
I gotta
he would
hear
know.
that one. I don't know.
Oh,
We're good.
We just
I
been
think-
talking. We just
Yeah,
been hanging
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We lost track of time.
Well,
This
yeah.
really felt like one of the first shows that we just were like talking, like hanging out.
It's
Like,
nice. It felt like an organic way into that. I always like that.
And we got this like some art and business talk. And like we don't really get into like a lot of art and business talk. So I like the fact that we touched on like some new shit on the show. Felt good.
Yeah, it was
So-
great talking to you about the world and then just fucking art and shit. Thanks for coming on, Blue.
The art dude.
Thanks for being our first guest back from
Yeah.
quarantine.
Yeah.
So you're one of our first guests until the second wave of quarantine when everybody needs to lock down again.
Yeah, how are we like just, I'm sorry, did say one more thing. How are we as a country just opening shit back up and being like, fuck it? All right, that was it. I just want to leave y'all with that. Think about that shit. That's crazy, motherfucker. It's going up crazy every day. And everybody's like, gotta make money. I'm like,
Also, like, we're tired of this.
yeah, staying in.
I mean, as we are the show that we're like tired of not having a guest.
Yeah, I know. So, hey, but Blue's been over here, so we're good.
So we would have had it if he had it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in this week. I'm super high, and I'm happy about that.
I've been super high and happy about that.
Yep. Zip it up and zip
Zip
it
it
out.
out.